at 11, an early fall chill in the air. We're going to talk about how long this lasts and timing out rain later this week coming up.
Also tonight on Connecticut's news station, 2 corrections officers are stabbed at a local prison. Attacks on corrections officers have reportedly doubled, and union leaders are putting the blame on one law.
And a warning tonight for parents right before kids return to class. Find out why you should be careful about which back-to-school pictures you share online.
Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And we begin tonight with new details. 2 correctional officers are recovering after being stabbed by an inmate. Good evening. I'm Sarah Sanchez.
And I'm Brent Harden. Thanks for joining us. This happened this morning at Garner Correctional Institution in Newtown. And tonight we're learning more about the inmate involved and how union leaders representing correction officers across the state are demanding action from state lawmakers.
Fox 61's Jake Garcia is in Newtown with the latest.
They were running their usual recreation in the morning, and inmate Baltus came out and stabbed an officer in the neck with a sharpened toothbrush.
The Connecticut Department of Corrections says just before 8:30 Tuesday morning, an inmate attacked 2 correctional officers using a makeshift weapon from a toothbrush. Officials say one officer was stabbed in the neck and the other in the torso. Both were rushed to a local hospital where they were treated for their injuries and released. 35-year-old Joe Baltus from Meriden is serving a 96-year sentence for a 2006 stabbing death of a family member of his then-girlfriend. He was 18 at the time of the murder. Since then, Baltus has a number of pending charges while in custody, including 10 counts of assault on a public safety officer and 3 counts of having a weapon while in a correctional facility. The union president, representing correctional officers from around Connecticut, is demanding state lawmakers to act.
A lot of these special management inmates are treated the same way as the general population inmates.
The union says recent legislation and the PROTECT Act, which was passed last year, makes it more difficult for officers to protect themselves and other inmates. The law restricts the use of solitary confinement and other punishments.
A lot of the tools that we were able to utilize to control the inmate population have been taken away. And when I say tools, these are, tickets that we can write, some sanctions that we can write. Now the inmate population understand that there's no real consequences to their actions, and staff are just fed up.
Since the PROTECT Act was passed into law, assaults on correctional staff has nearly doubled according to data collected by the state. Baltus even urging state lawmakers to pass a similar bill in a 2021 letter saying he has experienced abuses by the Department of Correction, writing in part, quote, "I and every Connecticut prisoner call upon the legislature and demand they act to end this cycle of abuse and torture and pain." And now the union is calling for accountability and for lawmakers to make prisons safer for both inmates and staff.
While they probably had good intentions with the bills they've passed, they've actually endangered the same inmate population that they claim to be concerned for.
Both correctional officers are expected to make a full recovery. Baltus also moved to a maximum security facility in Suffield. In Newtown, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Great, thank you, Jake. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for a first look at the forecast after a really pleasant Tuesday. Rachel?
Yeah, we're going to do it all over again tomorrow. So if you were busy today and maybe didn't have a chance to make the most of it, we'll have a carbon copy day in store for tomorrow. One minor difference, it will be a cooler start to the day tomorrow. In fact, it is already about 10 degrees cooler than it was at this time yesterday. Right now, 71 in the Hartford area, middle 60s in New Haven, and low 60s for Windham. As we head towards daybreak, 50s will be in place all across the state, so it'll be an even cooler start, but we'll see plenty of sunshine as we head through the day. So a sparkling morning, refreshing even as we head towards the afternoon. Temperatures will climb into the mid-70s, and we'll see high temperatures climb into the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees as we head through the afternoon. Again, low humidity, dry, lots of sunshine. What's not to love? Heading into Thursday, though, we'll see increasing clouds, and there is a rising chance for showers, especially in the western half of the state as we head through the afternoon. And those showers will come down off and on into Thursday night, and especially during Friday morning when we could see some locally heavier downpours out there and even the chance for some thunderstorms. Most of that will be in the morning. We'll try to slowly dry things out as we head through the afternoon, and then some improvement for the weekend, but it might not be perfect. We'll explain your full forecast coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. New at 10, a Virginia man appears in court. He's charged with a murder in Waterbury more than 2 months ago. Christopher Eason's accused of shooting and killing Akeem Campbell back in June on North Main Street. The arrest warrant says after the shooting, Eason returned to Virginia in a rented car. Eason was arrested in Virginia earlier this month. He's a convicted felon on probation for gun charges. He's being held on $5 million bond.
A Fox 61 follow-up tonight on a call for self-defense amid a violent summer in Hartford. A well-known activist is urging people in the capital city to take matters into their own hands in response to the deadly gun violence. He's advising people to legally carry firearms, and he says it's happened before. Fox 61's Samaya Hernandez introduces us to the man suggesting these dramatic measures.
This effort is coming from a coalition of gun rights groups here in Hartford, but they say the real impetus is coming from a frustrated community. Cornell Lewis teaches self-defense and leads a coalition of activists seeking to defend a community from drug lords and deadly gun violence.
They make the community weaker, and they come in and take our resources, and then they wreak havoc.
He's calling it legal armed self-defense, and it wouldn't be the first time armed citizens walked North Hartford streets. Lewis was one of them in the 90s.
We're calling on folks in the community to understand the concept of self-defense.
Mayor Luke Bronin says police are just as frustrated, but the department is focused on getting violent actors off the streets. A spokesperson for the police union says Lewis's theories could produce a great amount of risk to the community and the department.
It is fraught with risk.
Anti-gun groups say violence is a quality of life issue and guns aren't the solution.
There are laws in place to protect the public against armed citizens creating a Wild West out of Hartford.
Lewis says he's not interested in anyone's opinion who doesn't live here.
We're not listening to the politicians, we're not listening to the religious leaders, and we're certainly not listening to those people who continually want to come to rallies and cry and beg and hold hands.
Lewis says he intends to outline these efforts during a rally right here on Barber Street on Saturday, September 2nd. A spokesperson for the police department says anyone with a valid permit is entitled to their Second Amendment freedoms. In Hartford, I'm Samaya Hernandez, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
10 people are without a home tonight after a fire broke out in New Haven. It happened on East Street just before 5 this afternoon. Firefighters say the fire started on the 3rd floor of this home. Everyone got out okay, and 3 pets had to be rescued.
We saw smoke, so automatically I ran over to the house where the fire was at, and I ended up going inside the house and getting everybody out. I heard dogs, and I ran up on the 3rd floor where the fire was at. It was a lot of smoke. I heard the dogs barking, and then I heard like the windows crackling, so that was the time for me to get out.
The Red Cross is helping the 3 families find a place to stay tonight. Investigators are still determining what caused the fire.
The man accused of attacking State Representative Mariam Khan was back in court today. Authorities say Andre Desmond assaulted Khan after a Muslim prayer service at the XL Center. Desmond did not enter a plea. No other action was taken today, and the case was continued. He's being held on $250,000 bond and is due back in court in October. Well, new at 10, it is almost time for kids to leave the summer fun behind and head back to school. And with this comes back to school pictures on social media.
Tonight, experts are warning parents, though, those classic back to school photos could be giving too much personal information to the wrong people. Fox 61's DeAndrea Turner talked with police about this. She joins us in studio to break down how you can keep your child's information safe online. DeAndrea.
Well, we've all seen those back to school pictures from parents posting online with those cute little fun facts and other information on these posters. Now, police say if parents are going to use these boards or posters, that less is more when posting online.
We want to celebrate kids going back to school. We just want to do it safely.
Back to school time always means pictures and proud parents flooding social media with first day pics. But with this, experts want to make sure you keep your child's safety in mind.
So although we are proud parents, I think we have to really be concerned about how much we're sharing.
Especially when posting those fun and creative back to school signs.
I would say, your first name of your child's fine. The grade they're going to is also okay. I would avoid putting the specific school they're going to. I would avoid putting their teacher on it, even potentially the mascot for the school, to give anyone an indication on where they could be attending.
Scott Driscoll, the founder of Internet Safety Concepts, says the challenge of social media, especially posting signs with personal information, is the privacy control you have, or perhaps don't have, once those pictures are posted.
All things that we would tell our children never share with a stranger, but we're putting it online. Now, if your account is set to private and you only have a couple followers and friends, it might be a way to share it. However, with a screenshot or losing control over who's in our world, we can lose control of some personal information that we tell our children never to share.
Connecticut State Police say avoiding these things can help stop child predators or the possibility of being scammed.
We're seeing more and more people utilizing children's information to maybe leverage against them, pretend like they know the child because they're collecting all of this information.
And state police are also giving more back-to-school tips on online safety when taking pictures. Some of those back-to-school tips are avoid taking pictures in front of the school, review your child's social media, and also avoid taking pictures in front of your home. In the studio, D'Andrea Turner, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.